Hello, guys. I am back again. We got today on the workbench is a Xbox One or Xbox Series X. I saved you the whole taking it out of the case. Figured done that enough, so we'll start from the brick and work our way down. This thing is quite dirty. It's gonna be a bit of messing around, but it looks like it hasn't been touched. Let's see if we can get. There we go. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, you can see it's pretty busted. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, the PlayStation usually I take apart with an electric screwdriver. The Xbox is not that bad, so I usually do it by hand. Just with the holy, yeah, that's brand new. I can't even open it. Anyways, what was I saying? Right, I do everything by hand. Okay, we'll take this Wi-Fi board out first. What the heck? I can handle that. I can manage it, I think. So yeah, this one's in for, you guessed it, another HDMI. It's very common how often they break. Pretty steady influx, that's for sure. There we go. It's just being a weakling. Okay, so to do the HDMI port in an Xbox Series X, you basically have to take the entire unit out of the chassis, totally separate the halves, because this is actually made of two boards, which is kind of unique. So there's like a sandwich layer basically. Okay, let that go. Power supply next. Power supply is held in by two long screws at the end. And there's that one black screw that covers another black screw, funny enough. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, there's that little cover I took off. There's another screw right underneath it. Take that one off. So this, I guess, would be handy for anybody who wants to know how to change their power supply. This is pretty much it. Yeah, it's definitely factory. It's nice and stiff. I drove into the metal once, and that was it. It's all off. Now we gotta get this cover off because we gotta unplug it off of the main board itself. All these silver screws, by the way, is what actually joins the two halves together. So once those are all out, you can actually separate the two halves. And there's a piece of aluminum that separates them. But yeah, a lot of people think you have to take apart like this whole back end. You don't. You don't have to take any of that apart to separate. So as long as all the big long silver screws are out, it will come apart. Obviously, the power supply has to be out, but just pull that back out of the way and slip it off to the side just like that. Okay, so now here we go. We've got two connectors. There's one here and more plastic fun. Okay, so once you got that, you basically have to press lever over here, plug, and just pull straight up, just like that. Boom. Power supply. So if you have to change your power supply, throw this one out, put a new one in, the reverse of what you just saw. Nice and easy. That was harder than usual. Okay, so that should be it. Everything else is free. Silver screws are out. Okay, so this is the top board, the board we need, where the HDMI port is under here. So we now need to gently rock. Boom, just like that. Okay. Alright, that won't be going back on. These things do not need that. I don't even really know why they went through such effort to put something so annoying on it, but anyways, yeah. Next step is to remove the clamp. It's just the 4 screws, and what I also like to do is get the thermal putty scraped up and balled and out of the way so that you don't put your fingers and stuff into it. So completely separated. Basically, that's all that's next, is to gently work the board so that it comes apart. Now, there is some thermal pads down there that are keeping it kind of secured. So one thing you can do is just run a spudger. It's so difficult. This side's let go. There it goes. Suction cup. Okay. So let's set that aside. Okay, so here's what we need, obviously. My house. That's what was holding it, was this putty. Memory, on the memory, the putty. That I just put on, leave it on the heatsink, because it's not in your way. Some people take that cable off, I usually don't, there's no point. So let's get a better look at all this good stuff inside. Bring a microscope in and see what kind of goodness awaits. Okay, so let's, first things first, let's get a nice good close up of this bad boy. Let's see here. Oh. Yikes. That's some pretty good tear. Crazy. Okay. it goes. Okay. Yeehaw. She's off. Now, while the board's still hot, let's get the rest of it. Flux. Might have just pulled funny with this solder. I'm hoping that's what that is. Yeah, okay, good. Scared me for a second. Okay, we're just gonna mix the unleaded with leaded solder here so I can wick it off the board. I usually don't bother with messing with this like I do on the PS5. Usually just add a bunch of leaded and that's good enough usually. I'll grab the unleaded off the back side of the board though. Or we'll try and wick it. Wick away, wick away. Okay, you know you haven't used too much heat. This is how you know. That little sticky is still yellow. If you use excessive heat, you lose the color of that. It ends up being completely burnt. So, even though the Xbox board requires a stupid amount of heat, you need to try and minimize as much as you can. I don't keep this sticker on here. This is why I'm taking it off. And the easiest way to take it off actually is with the tip. There we go. Just burn it off of there. I don't prefer to have that on there at all. I don't like having any potential of the port not sitting flat. I don't want to introduce into the repair at all. Okay, we are past half the battle. A lot of the Xbox stuff is just need to be careful with the components around, like I was saying. HDMI, ESD booster, you do not want to be fucking with that. I mean, I've changed them. You can get them, and you can also bypass them. But again, like you want to try and use as little heat so you don't even come close to floating it, right? I forgot to add leaded here. I'm gonna put some leaded solder in here. These are front anchor points. This is one of the reasons why both Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X don't have the same kind of problems with connectors coming loose on them as others. But clean this all up and get it ready for some new solder, and yeah. Oh, yeah, clean up nice and pretty. I like it when it does that. Okay, the only reason it cleans up like that is because the board is still warm. It is way harder to do that when the board is cold. Okay, so let's keep working quick here, because if we can get this all down, it's going to make our life easy. Okay, so you just want to drag fresh solder across the legs. I like to use having a little bit of a pillow The flux should keep it from bridging, but you gotta work quick too, so.
Between the two of you, I would take the
working with 380 quite a bit. It's kind of where I like it to sit. Okay, put a little solder on there and drag it along the pins, just like that. Each one of those pins now has a small coating of solder on it, so that will help when we go to knock this down onto the board. So let's do that.
I would use to describe you are as follows, and I quote: Stag! Stag! Stag!
Okay, so this is going to be the same as before now. Here's where your issue is, okay? It's on this corner, so you want to keep your heat, okay? Your ESD is over here. You want to keep your heat really contained to right on top of here and not over there, as much as possible. And the reason I say that is because we're going to be heating it from the bottom side of the board, so we need to make sure we don't have the nozzle over there. Okay, get going here. Just need my port set up and tweezers. Okay, switch hands here. Should be good. Okay, I'm just gonna clean up in here a little bit more too. Okay, let's do the solid test. Solid, 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 One's a little easier to push than the PS5 because PS5 kind of like encroaches on the pins a bit, so it's a little harder to do the test, but yeah, everything's good there. So perfect, shown. Boom. Get rid of this guy. Okay, let's come in a little bit. There we go. Righty. Let's throw this into the port. Good. And what are we missing? Yes, you know it. It's the electronic cheat sheet. Oh. We need the Xbox. Oops. Xbox Series X. Right there. As you can see, this one's a little lower values than the PS5, but they're all pretty much follow the same, especially at the end there, so. Six eight, perfect. That is a good reading all the way through. She's good to go back together. What do we need? The one and only champ star of all thermal pastes. KPX from Kingpin Cooling. Maybe one day he'll sponsor me. I doubt it. Okay, so let's just draw a line on this. Like that. That's way too much, but who cares? There's no such thing as too much thermal paste when you're using KPX. Alright, so now that that's in there, we can take this guy. Cover it a little bit. There we go. And plant that down. And a little bit more. Done. Okay, this side's done. Perfect. Let's grab the rest of it. Here's our other half. It's ready to go back down. Just like so. Cable, push it in nice and even. That cable has to go in properly. If you don't put that in right, you're going to have problems. Power supply. Make sure you hear a click. Okay, perfect. Start with the 2 back screws here on the power supply. Boom. Okay. She's done. Test time. Okay, we'll need a power cord. Let's throw that in. And of course, HDMI is required. Boom, boom. Okay. It's turning on, and boom, baby. There it is. Alrighty. Alright guys, that's it for this guy. I hope you enjoyed it. It's just another repair. Hopefully my videos are getting a little bit more refined and you guys are finding them easier to follow. This is just another job that I had on my bench here for the weekend, so I haven't done a nice clean through Xbox Series X. I've done other ones. Some of my first videos were on the Xbox One X. But yeah, there you go, guys. Everything's good. I'm going to test this thing, make sure it's good to go, throw a disc in it, make sure it connects to the internet, all that good stuff. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.